So time is running out to make sure you're as high up in the standings as you can afford, as the Talia will be the final ban of this draft. Senna locked in first for NRG.
So, Afro, what would you pick to go up against Senna? Because we saw Smolder Seraphine, apparently.
Okay.
That is one of them.
Support or
probably as
carry?
Farming, to be honest. Usually versus Senna lanes, they're going to stack up no matter what.
Yeah.
So you might as well pick something that scales just as well. Smolder kind of a little too weak without having Leona or Braum like we saw in the first game, but that is also another one of those picks. So yeah, you just want to do that, and then as a support, you want to roam against these kind of lanes.
Okay. All right. Well, the Nautilus, I would not be surprised at all to see this locked in next to the Senna. She often likes to have those tanky buddies down there on the bottom side, and sure enough, they lock it in.
3 games in a row now, we've seen Senna Nautilus locked in by blue side. 2 games in a row, Senna Nautilus is 1. So we'll see if that ends up being 3 here. It's a really powerful combo. It's it's a little shocking to me, actually, that so many teams unanimously will play it when it's up, yet 3 teams in a row will allow it to be up and let the other team play it.
Right. It's kind of, the priority doesn't feel completely aligned, since it's not ban-worthy, but it's first pick-worthy.
Yeah, it's aligned enough that everyone's doing it, but not aligned enough that people are willing to ban it. It's surprising it happened 3 games in a row.
Well, they're also going to take the chance on NRG side to lock in the Aatrox before we get to the second part of the ban, so we'll see. Does Team Liquid want to go ahead and answer that right now, or are they confident that they can just wait and pick their top laner during the second half of the draft?
Hovering Rell, which would show that it would be farming Seraphine if they lock it in. Although Rell could still be flexed to the jungle, so we don't know for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of unknowns with the first 3 picks of TL's draft here.
All right, where are we going here with the bans? That flex power on TL, very important, like you're talking about. Over on NRG side, we pretty much know where the 3 champions are going, right? Yep. It's not like that's going to have a lot of heads being scratched.
Afro, what do you think would round out the NRG comp the most here in terms of their mid-jungle pick?
You need a long-range mage mid. So Azir is gone. I don't know. Way's banned. I was about to say that. So who is their mid laner again? Palafox? I'm trying to think what he really plays. Talia's gone. Oriana's gone.
That's a lot of champions down the totem pole already.
Yeah. Do you think TL just double bans mid here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have to. That's the only way they can really get a good comp on NRG.
Well, the Jax banned out by NRG, wanting to remove that potential matchup there in the top lane. Keep Impact away from that one. All right, TL, final ban. What's it going to be? We're looking for those long-range mages. Looking for what's going to round out the comp for NRG the best.
It would be funny if Palafox played Ziggs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just throw it down in APA's face. Okay,
we have lost the draft temporarily.
Hopefully that'll return here sooner than later. We can see exactly how this is going to keep going.
Right when we were going to get the reveal, too.
Yeah. It was coinciding with the timer. All right, we're back. Akali. So, yes, it's a mid lane ban, but it does not fit the archetype we were looking for.
Yeah, just banning out things that they think would be good against Azir. So, I mean, APA with a lot of agency in this draft, so to speak, with an early pick Azir, and then having 4 mid lane bans from his team devoted to shutting down Palafox.
All right. Last ban, Renekton. Okay, so double ban mid on Team Liquid side, double ban top on NRG side. Team Liquid to pick next. You already know what the enemy top laner is, but at the same time, they could just want to wait, save that final pick there for top lane for the very last one of the draft.
What do you think, Afro?
Yeah, I think you just counter top right here.
Okay.
That way, Umti gets a better pick, depending on what Contractz is going to play. Especially when you have a Seraphine comp, you want your jungler to be on something that has priority.
Okay.
To secure the early game.
The Ksante. That'll be the choice into the Aatrox here in the top lane for Impact. How do we feel about Ksante? Because he got some nerfs, he got some adjustments.
I hate the champion, man.
Okay, that totally fair. Totally fair.
I'm with Twitch chat. I hate Ksante. Most broken champion on release, still broken. Everyone's still picking it, you know.
Yup.
It's been years.
He is so strong. You can see on your screen right now, though, Udyr has kind of been the staple for Team Liquid in this spring split in the top lane. Impact 4-1 when he's on the Udyr, 1-3 on anything not named Udyr.
Yeah.
The thing about Ksante is,
it's not named Udyr.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does a lot, but he's not named Udyr. So we'll see how that can play out as the Volibear locked in for energy.
And I mean, with the nerf to Ksante, he is slower. Like, he should be more kiteable, even if he's still fairly unkiteable. As we were mentioning earlier, you're going to see Ghost on almost every Ksante, but if energy was going to lock in that Karma, I think it would have actually been a fairly difficult comp for Ksante to get in on with the Karma and the Senna slows, but they've gone a different direction with what looks to be a really strong mid jungle if they lock in this Ahri. The Volibear is a pick that I was thinking was going to reemerge into the meta based on the patch notes.
Yeah.
Just the buffs weren't massive, but they were big enough that the slot now makes a lot of sense for the Volibear because he's so strong early game. He can really allow your lanes to get ahead. And then late game comes, whatever. He's still a ball of stats, even if he's not a huge scaler.
I know that Kobe's been a big fan of Volibear jungle recently, been really excited about the buffs, been playing it a lot in his own games. So generally when Kobe gets really excited about something, I expect it to be back into the meta because he always loves when these champs can pop off and carry some elo.
He was finding success with Volibear before the buffs.
Well, he's a very dedicated Volibear player. He even knows the lore about Volibear. Apparently he's not just a bear.
He was, wow.
Yeah.
He was Grandmaster.
He's like a magic bear.
Okay, that's still a bear.
I know, but there's something more to it. I don't remember exactly what he was talking about because it wasn't Skarner, but there's something more to it than just a bear. Anyway, final pick of the draft for Umti. It is the Poppy, locked in here for slot 5. Aftermoo, how do you feel about this being that last pick on red side?
I would have liked something a little bit more aggressive, but it's all right.
Okay.
It's a tank. Seraphine comp. You just gotta survive, go in, cause disruption.
What would you have liked to see instead? Like if you had total agency to draft for that slot, what would you have picked there?
Honestly, Volibear's new, so I don't really know where you picking the Volibear.
That's the thing.
I don't
He's
really know.
really good early.
That's fair.
Ivern's a good pick into it. Ivern's already banned. At that point, when I was talking to Kobe about because I wanted to say the Volibear beats everyone at 4 minutes, but we actually have something more pressing with Azale on the stage.
All right, here we're at TL versus NRG. We're gonna see if we can get a word here quickly with APA. APA, you have time for a quick word? All right. So APA, you're going to be going up against NRG here. You're facing off against Palafox. How are you feeling about the matchup?
Honestly, NRG's been pretty trash this year. I think losing Ignar was massive for them, so I'm not too worried.
Oh, okay. We'll see what Palafox has to say about that. Palafox, do you have time for a quick word? All right. So APA just said he thinks you guys have been pretty trash this year and that losing Ignar really hurt the team. You got any words here for APA before you guys head on to the Rift?
I mean, we beat you guys last time with the worst comp, so...
All right. Oh, Dhokla calling for the mid gap. All right, we'll see what is going to happen. We'll see if it gets spicy on the Rift. Thank you both. Good luck in the game.
I feel like Palafox could have gone a lot harder based on the history. He's completely destroyed APA in the past. It was back-to-back playoff matchups last year in the LCS Summer Split, and then also the first game of the Spring Split here in 2024.
I mean, APA is saying that energy's trash, and Palafox is saying, well, despite that, we beat you anyway. And we know in the past, when these two have gone head-to-head, yes, these are both North American mid laners. Palafox has been in the system a lot longer than APA has. Palafox has grown over the course of many years into the player that he is now. And in a lot of these head-to-heads, man, he has had APA's number.
Dude, throw some shade to my boy Huhi, man. Come on.
Strong mid jungle for energy too already with the Volibear Ahri. I'm curious how they're going to be playing around this one. I really want to see how Team Liquid's comp comes together because it's looking a little odd, honestly, when I stare at the mid bot backline damage of Azir Seraphine, and then the AD damage on the team is a Ghost Ksante and a Jungle Poppy. It makes me think that if you can just rush some magic resist items early on that Nautilus and Volibear, you're going to have a demon frontline that just can't be taken down. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
I'm ready to go, baby. Again, these two teams so close in the standings, right next to one another.
5-4 for TL, 4-5 for Energy. Energy 1-0 in the matchup so far this season, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what Palafox said, right?
Yeah,
he said
just double checking.
Yeah, he said we whooped you guys last time.
APA is always so confident. You never know.
All chat, APA just giving him the GLHF, the sportsmanlike conduct. All right, let's hop in here. Let's see how it's going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's game number 3 of the day. A reminder also, after today's games, we are going to be rating Contractz on his personal stream, as he will be doing an AMA, I believe. So if Contractz pops off on the Volibear this game, you got some questions for him about it, head on over there once the LCS is done. But remember, we still got this one, and then one more game after this before we get to that. Starting off here at level 1, everybody's just drawing the lines of scrimmage. It does not look like any shenanigans are afoot just yet. There's a lightning bolt, that's about it.
I was talking with Kobe earlier about Volibear, and he told me that he'd given Contractz all of his tips. And I asked Kobe what the tips were, and he says, not for you.
Not for you?
Yeah, they're like secret. He thinks it's secret tech. I don't know how much secret tech there can really be on Volibear, but I'm going to be on the watch for it.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's see if there's anything super spicy, some crazy hidden Volibear mechanic that the three of us are not aware of that Kobe has managed to discover. Dhokla versus Impact up here on the top side. Again, we kind of flashed those stats when the champion was locked in for Impact as not Udyr. It's been a big Udyr factor for Team Liquid so far this year. Impact's going to have to kind of shake off some of that bad mojo if they want to come out on top in this one.
Absolutely. Aatrox versus Ksante, and he's going to have to do a lot of, he really just has to do a lot of damage this game. Impact has to get really strong, otherwise the MR stacking is going to be way too effective with the Senna healing coming in from the back line. So a lot of pressure on Impact.
Uh-oh. Let's see how is this going to go down here with the level 1. Just immediately trading with Yeon and Core. Nice dredge line there from Huhi.
That was a good hook.
Yep.
How do you see this bot lane playing out after?
For Huhi and FBI, they always like to play super aggressive, so taking the early trade right here when their jungler's pathing bot, especially Volibear, who's good at early diving, is very good. And unfortunately, Poppy's pathing top, so Teal just has to not take as much damage to prevent this dive.
And I mean, when you're looking at the support items, you can see it's the double Dorian start for the energy bottom lane, delaying the support item purchase so they can play more aggressively in these early trades. It adds to the extra confidence they have just waiting in the brush there for the level 1 trades, knowing they just have more purchase stats in inventory.
Yeah, in theory, I'd actually like to see the Senna farming at this stage of the game too, if you're going to eventually build the support item anyway. Just accelerate your items a little bit, but it doesn't really matter as long as they're trading effectively, because that's what they've itemized for.
Tri-lane view here shows Dhokla with control over the top side, Palafox pushing up in mid, FBI and Huhi doing the same thing bottom. It's energy control all across the rift here early on.
Yeah, does that wave look like it's in a state right now, Afro, that the dive would be considered with Contractz finishing his clear, going to be hitting level 4? There's a ward that's going to be expiring, but there it's a relatively healthy Yeon.
Surfing didn't clear it anyway. It's kind of hard because you can throw a Q max range and clear the wave. So you really only need one wave, just fast push it in. Especially early games, you can't really clear it that fast. It's like 2 Qs, 3 Qs to nuke it. But
So no dive.
Teal played pretty well. And I expect that. Dying on first clear is kind of noob, I'm going to be honest.
All right, I can agree with that.
You don't see it pretty much since they buffed the turret damage. Unless things have gone really, really wrong in the bot lane and someone's on like 10% health, I feel like the dive fails frequently. He was looking for it at least. He did invade into the blue buff, but it's just not there. You're right.
Total mirrored performance from the junglers here. Nobody's really getting involved with anything just yet. Full clears into Scuttle Crabs on opposite sides of the map, and both are going to take their recalls. You can see Contractz getting back to base, picking up the Dorans, going for the early extra power spike of that item, having granted him a little bit of extra advantage if he runs into his opponent there in the 1v1s or the small skirmishes he may get into. Meanwhile, for Umti, just the double Ruby Crystal scaling straight towards the first completed item instead.
Yeah, and these teams have been on a 2-week break from the LCS. I think one thing about NRG this split was trying to figure out how they're going to do after coming off that incredibly successful summer split, because their expectations have been really high. As Contractz is actually going for a gank, gets the ghost. Not much happening after that. But I wanted to look at if NRG has actually been worse this split, because they're putting so much more pressure on each other, fighting more, expectations are high. They're actually technically better. They were really bad in the first 9 games of that summer split when they ended up winning the split and then beating G2 at Worlds. So it's a little bit what we should have been expecting from NRG, but they still have that peak they can reach that they're trying to get back to.
I think it's because the expectations are so different. Last year, they were just looked at as scrappy underdogs. When they won, people were surprised. Now, everybody's looking at them as reigning champions, and those expectations are so significantly higher that, like you're saying, even if it is better in actuality, it feels worse when you look at it subjectively. Aframu, how about your own experiences? And hold on, never mind. We're talking about Dhokla's experiences now as CoreJJ makes a rotation up to the top lane. Lane Nation, and immediately gets Team Liquid on the board.
That's exactly what you want to do versus Senna lane. First base, you don't really want to fight the Senna, you just want to farm.
Yep.
And so have CoreJJ roam, and there you go.
Yeon also getting cover from Umti just in case they wanted to try a dive on the other side. Love that from Team Liquid, and it's exactly what they needed to do to get the kill on a Ksante as well.
And I feel like CoreJJ has been a part of TL for so long, and he's defined the way that they play. I love seeing him on engaged champions. I feel like this team, all the iterations of this team that Core has been a part of, even if CoreJJ is not a bad player at Enchanters whatsoever, I think that the team as a whole always looks better with him having the ability to pull the trigger and go in. Say, this is how we go, this is where we engage, because his natural sense of finding those opportunities in those moments, I think is really top level.
Exactly. When you have a world champion caliber player such as Core, you want him to affect the whole map. Him playing an Enchanter where, you know, he's confined to his lane, has to play laning phase, you know, win there, whereas he can affect the map like he just did is so good.
Impact's going all out, looking for Dhokla here as he pops the World Ender in response, but Impact is about to end him. Easy peasy, solo bolo up here on the top side. Umti was ready to show up, but they didn't even need him. Dhokla even uses the flash and pays for it anyway.
So that's really good for TL.
Yeah.
The fact that Impact has been able to jump out to this type of lead on the changed Ksante, win rate definitely went down, but now trying to just start these grubbies because they've moved up their entire bottom lane. Team Liquid not going to be contesting these just because I think they'd rather look for plates on the bot side. So a good rotation here by NRG. Just unfortunate what happened to Dhokla on the top side.
Yeah, NRG will grab the first 3 grubs there, so that means they'll be able to spawn the little baby grubbies as long as they get at least 2 of the next set. 5-minute delay, I believe, on the respawn of those, so we'll be looking for those around the 12-minute mark. But remember, they are automatically replaced by the Herald at 14 minutes, so it'll be a pretty tight window to take that second set of grubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Also kind of checking in on the mid lane matchup. I'm curious if APA is going to be going the tank build. Most likely not because he's gone fleet already, and they're a relatively low damage team, but it is something we have to track. That's what JoJo went the last game. He did the Leandries into Frozen Heart Abyssal Mask build.
Oh boy.
Trying to get this bounty off of Impact, possibly. That's a very healthy Ksante.
Yeah, but Contractz is level 6. The Volibear can just flip the switch, turn these turrets off whenever he needs to. Impact already down to half HP, but he's fighting them off.
Okay.
Energy's still looking for the angle here. Impact's just doing a great job.
What's happening?
They're going to try to clear out the next wave. I am not quite sure. They're at least looking for a TP, I suppose. The teleport used by Team Liquid, ready to reinforce up here. Okay, that's it. We're not going to get a dive after all. It was just a test.
Yeah, they probably baited out the TP, honestly.
Okay.
Not terrible.
What was the plan there?
I don't know. I thought they could have dove him and killed him. Yeah, for sure. Because Volibear, you know, ulti, turn off the tower.
Yes, that's what I was expecting.
So the tower turret turn-off on rank 1 volley is less. That was technically the trade-off for his increased move speed on the Q. It's like 2 seconds now. So it's pretty brief.
Yeah.
And the Senna has swiftness boots and a blade. Doesn't really do any damage. Aatrox is also physical damage for the Tabi Bramble. I don't know if that dive works even if they fully commit.
Yeah, I mean, Impact was 2-0. Tabbies, Brawler, so...
Yeah, just for clarification, I did look at it. It is base 2-second duration on the tower disable plus 1 second per level.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to level 3 ulti, it doubles.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
Now, CoreJJ, once again, looking to shadow his top laner up here. If you couldn't kill Impact when he was alone, you're definitely not going to kill him with Rell right beside him. CoreJJ just guaranteeing that there's no chance for them to try to make a dive happen here. The wave will crash into the turret. FBI and Dhokla trying to see if they can just get a little bit more poke onto this thing. They do have the extra damage over time thanks to the first 3 grubs that were secured. All right, everybody backing away.
Man, this is just such a weird game for me.
Honestly, not bad. Because Senna going top, they're actually getting plates off the tower, whereas if you reverse Seraphine, she's just going to clear the entire wave.
Yeah, I think it's a good swap. I mean, I still think the early game went pretty bad for NRG, but their comp still seems so good. I'm just not seeing, currently, I'm really just not seeing Team Liquid's comp come 20, 30 minutes being effective.
I mean, Team Liquid is up 2 kills, which should be worth, you know, 600, 700 gold.
Yeah.
But they're only up 100 gold overall despite that. So NRG having a pretty solid time here. I mean, yeah, Dhokla's died 2 times. You'd rather have that not be the case, but hey, it could be a lot worse than it is. As CoreJJ just still continuing to allow Impact to maintain his presence here in the lane. As you can see, Contractz is pushed up into the enemy jungle, stealing away the red buff from Umti. As Impact steps forward, CoreJJ coming in for the Shattering Strike. His FBI is going to be pulled back, but the all-out, the crash down, ready to take him out. And Impact goes on a killing spree. A teleport's ready to make its way into the fight now, as Umti wants to reinforce. Contractz is going way too ham. Umti just gobbles him down, and now you got Dhokla and Palafox trying to get something back on the back end of the fight, but Impact barely gets away. APA and Huhi are in a 1v1 down to the Tri-Brush at the same time. Senna ulti comes over the top, but it don't get much. Team Liquid do not lose a man. They pick up 2 more kills. Okay, we're not done yet. Never mind. Hold on. Here comes the shuffle now. Umti's in trouble. Palafox going to pick up the first kill of the game for NRG. The extended fight sees NRG finally making their way onto the board, and now Dhokla's about to get even more money from the turret plate.
And this whole time that Yeon was solo in the bot lane, he got 1 plate? 1 plate? That fight was 3 minutes long, it felt like. It was probably more like 60, 75 seconds, but that looked like it was a disaster with almost everything going right for Team Liquid. Impact is doing everything he can, but the gold is still at about 100.
Yeah, overstepped here just a little bit for the Ksante Q.
Oof. But even though FBI drops here, the extended fight going as long as it does, it still ends up being a 2-for-1 trade, and plates end up going over to NRG, so it doesn't even feel like there's really much of an advantage for Team Liquid at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The kill going over on Impact, don't know if he's going to be able to carry the game with tank build. You can see down in the bottom corner of the screen as well that Team Liquid is picking up their first Drake, but it has been traded, I think, for a lot of turret plates up top.
It's been traded for a lot of turret plates, and also critically the other 3 grubs. NRG got them as they spawned, so NRG is now in a 6 grub game state. Feeling really good about that.
Yeah, one other thing to track during this game, as we might have to put pause on this with CoreJJ moving up with Impact.
Okay, Dhokla knocked back by the Q3. The Intofo strikes, trying to keep him around here. Shattering Strike stuns him up, but there's nothing left to follow it up with, so Dhokla's just fine for now.
Yeah, if NRG ends up taking over this game late with more kills, did you know Huhi is 9 assists behind Impact for 2nd LCS all time, but this fight is not ending.
Umti with the double knock up there on the Snapcast ulti. Dhokla trying to return some pressure here with the World Ender as Impact steps in front of his jungler to keep him protected with a Pathmaker. Now Team Liquid disengaging this one, even though they've got a 3v2 fight. They don't know where everybody on the enemy team is, so Team Liquid's going to back that one up as APA uses his teleport to return to lane with the Azir. You can see the items in inventory. Does not look like we will be getting the tank Azir, at least here at the start. Bo tells me that's not the case. Impact again going to look for an opportunity as Dhokla's forced to flash away, and he steps just to the side of that 3rd Intofo strike.
Man, Team Liquid is just out of sorts. They're forcing so much. The gold lead just keeps getting farther and farther behind. They invested 3 people top lane, but they're losing plates bot. They're losing their jungle. And Afro, what I was going to tell you is Huhi's 9 assists behind Impact for 2nd place LCS all time, but Impact is 1,150 assists behind you. So you have a monumental assist lead on the LCS. Just wanted to get that out there as they go for Dhokla.
I don't got to come back anytime soon.
Yeah, man, you are way out in front, and it looks like Dhokla is way down deep in the ground. Another kill going up there in the top side. Impact 3-0-2 here on Ksante. Dhokla drops to 0-3-1 on the Aatrox.
Honestly, it's probably I've never seen so much fighting top lane where the supports are laning top for 5 minutes. It's crazy.
That island has become a vacation destination for both teams here, but it is NRG. Despite the fact that the kills are 1 to 5, NRG's up almost 1,500 gold. The Drakes are tied 1-1. We have the next one not spawning for another 2.5 minutes. You can see the Herald is live on the map, but CoreJJ now has to crash down the opposite direction as he does not want to get caught out by Palafox and the rest of NRG. TP coming back in from Impact, I'm assuming. Yep, there it is, as Dhokla continues clearing out the control wards here.
11 plates for NRG?
That's a lot of plates.
If I saw that right, that's the reason they're ahead in gold here, because you look 1 kills to 5, but they've just been consistently applying lane pressure. And yes, Umti's been able to get 2 kills and Impact had that solo kill up top, but I don't necessarily think where it matters. Like, if Team Liquid wants to win, they need kills on Azir and Seraphine.
Well, Huhi's already gone in and Yeon's under pressure. FBI is ready to follow it up and try to take him out. CoreJJ with a Magnet Storm, but where's the damage? Team Liquid deal no damage. They're gonna kill Palafox, but that's the only one. Contractz taking a kill there on APA as Impact versus Dhokla is a fight that won't really go Big Dok's way. NRG coming out on top right now. They put a lot of Team Liquid bodies in the dirt, and the Rift Herald's going to be their prize.
Now that I look at it, Poppy probably not the best pick.
Definitely not with Nice Vow.
You definitely wanted some AD damage somewhere in your comp when you have Seraphine Azir.
I mean, that is what we've been saying, and it looks like it's true. Yeah. Even with the, like if you're going to win a fight, it would actually be that 14-minute fight before people have really had time to itemize and you're kind of just dealing with the base damage of the kits, but they did no damage. The Hollow Radiance are ready for Nautilus, exactly what we expect.
Yep.
Contract's next item is going to be big MR. I mean, NRG hasn't even really started itemizing the items that are going to completely shut down the damage, and they're already winning fights.
Yeah, Huhi had a great hook here, though, on Seraphine. Just instantly fights over once this lands.
Yeah, I think a lot of Team Liquid's team fighting is supposed to be about being able to play behind Seraphine and maybe just winning some long fights, but he absolutely couldn't be a part of this fight once he got hooked. He's just kind of hiding in the pit. He gets one Q over the wall onto the front line, not really able to heal anyone else, and then Dhokla just finishes him off. So great engage by NRG, but I think the comp differences are pretty real.
You can see that. Ah, that was cute. Smile from Palafox. Man. And back to what I said at the end of the draft, the head-to-head between Palafox and APA, you can even see here, APA's words. It was a good tweet. I think he's probably the player that had my number the most, so I can't really say anything. And this is after Palafox told him, call me daddy. So APA has not had the best record going up against this guy. And once again, gentlemen, it's looking like an NRG-favored game. Nearly 2,000 gold ahead at 17 minutes.
This one in particular doesn't feel like a Palafox versus APA, but it definitely feels like an NRG versus TL. So the streaks may continue here. Next Drake being set up. Afro, what do you think Team Liquid has to do here? Being down 3,000 gold, they're definitely going for it.
Yeah, they're going for this fight, but I would just wait for 2 items. Most likely, people start doing damage to these people. Huhi's basically invincible right now. He's taking 0.
He is. Look at his health bar.
Support Nautilus, the ultimate Chad. He's just leading the way in the middle of 5. The Dawning Shadow over the top as Impact goes all out looking to finish off Huhi, but he's so damn tanky. Umti's going to be dropped at the exact same time as a 1-for-1 here so far, but NRG's looking to make it even more. APA gets caught over the wall, and Palafox is ready to keep on chasing him. He fires the charm out, but it goes wide right. Now Contractz is ready for the flash follow, and APA is going to drop. Contractz needs to get away from the turret, but the last shot should finish him off. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade at the end of the scrap.
That's about as well as Team Liquid could hope that fight goes. They actually do kill Huhi, the Giga Tank Nautilus, throughout all that. They kill the jungler at the end, so NRG can't pull off for Dragon. And let's just watch the way this fight starts once again.
I think Ahri was a little too far. He was kind of scared going in right here on this. Teamfight's already been going for like 5 seconds, and Palafox finally showed up.
Yeah, Palafox gets some damage in over the side. It looked like a lot of free hitting was able to happen towards Huhi up at the top side, and Yeon has pretty good position over that pit for most of the fight. Runs out of mana at the tail end, though, so kind of has to retreat. And then just a nice shuffle with, APA's dying breath.
I was so surprised Contractz died here.
Yeah, he just gets trapped in the turret. CoreJJ gets a Rell CC on him after as well.
Wow.
Rell CC into the Seraphine E, making sure that he stays locked down. There's just a ton of CC there. So APA at least manages to take somebody with him. He's pretty much dead to rights there no matter what. Checking in on the stacks, FBI up to 81 on the Senna.
He's a really good Senna. I mean, I think for years with FBI and Huhi playing together, FBI has been very comfortable with pretty much any Senna lane, so a lot better at warding than a lot of other Sennas, I feel like, and then also very efficient at just getting his stacks off. And the biggest thing I'll say is, like, when he hits around 120, he can really just take over mid lane a lot of times with the extended range. Yeah. He's really good at playing around that, where I think a lot of Sennas don't necessarily know like where their range breakpoints are. It just kind of happens as you play throughout the game. Yeah. But he's going to get there at some point this game, I think.
And I called Huhi the support Nautilus earlier, but man, he's farming up a storm. He's got one more than the Seraphine right now. He's got the 2 items completed, and he's about 2/3 of the way to having that thing. I don't even remember the base name. It stacks up into Fimbulwinter. It's bought so rarely, and I only see the evolved version of it.
Winter's Embrace?
Winter's Approach, I think it is. Okay. Winter's Approach. If I'm wrong, chat, you can flame me. It's all good.
There.
It doesn't matter. It's something to do with Winter, and Impact is trying to have nothing to do with NRG as he backs away, popping the Ghost to try to survive. It's a 3-man push down here in the bot lane. from NRG. Again, they've got all of these Void Mites. It makes pushing the objectives so easy. NRG now with a Drake lead, with a gold lead. They're not ahead in kills, but they don't need them.
And we know NRG didn't start the split the way they wanted to start. Even though it is technically a little better than they started Summer Split, I want to talk about their remaining opponents because they still have aspirations of winning the entire split. They're at 4 and 5. However, remember, FlyQuest lost to Cloud9 earlier today, so that moves them to 3 losses. NRG is still sitting at 5, and they got Immortals, Shopify, then FlyQuest, who, if they're only 2 losses behind them, become a very important game. So, like, when NRG is thinking about this game and thinking about the rest of the split, they're still in it for maybe even, you know, a high playoff seed, depending on how they come back in these final 2 weeks.
Red team's turn.
Picking up some solo turret gold up there in top lane, knocking that one over. Team Liquid, Afro, if you're on TL right now, what's the call to try to, you know, recover the momentum here in the mid game, stop this from bleeding out any further?
So now it's just pretty much 5-man defense wherever NRG is going to go. You hit 2 items on Azir, you're about to hit 2 items on Seraphine, and this is like the moment where your comp either works or it doesn't.
All right, fair enough.
And what's your prediction?
That last fight, they went 2 for 2.
Okay.
It's not too bad, actually.
I mean, I never want to call them out of it for sure, because if they get a pick, let's say they can get a lot of damage down early onto FBI, it'll still be hard for NRG to kill Impact. Like, as much as we talk about how TL doesn't have damage to kill Huhi, or if Contractz is able to get a lot of MR, like, it's not exactly a super high damage team from NRG already, and Seraphine heals if they have, you know, double Leandries ticking from the Azir, Seraphine. There's a world, I put it at like 75-25 at the moment if I had to put a number on it for how favored I'd put NRG over TL because of the comp and the gold lead.
I do think if TL catches Palafox at any point, they probably just win the team fight.
Okay. We'll have to keep an eye out for how they can make these engages happen, because I feel like if they don't just blow somebody up, you know, you're talking about FBI, you're talking about Palafox, the damage does feel really lacking, right? It's full tank Poppy, Ksante obviously wanting to just itemize tank. Yeah, we've got Azir, but we need a big performance from APA, I feel like, for Team Liquid to find success in this game. They're taking the blast cone back this way. Contractz and FBI going to follow him up here. NRG, they're going to use Dhokla as bait. He flashes away. What about the rest here? It's a ton of TPs. All of Team Liquid has decided they want to participate here in the fight as Impact has to get back away from the Q3. Huhi's approaching from the side. Big old tanky Nautilus just now joining the fight. Team Liquid continuing to push forward as 5. They have the Sun Disc raised behind them to fall back to if they need. Huhi and Contractz, there's your engage. There's your front line for the side of NRG. Team Liquid staying bunched up. Death Ball with Seraphine, the name of the comp.
Yeon holding on to his empowered W. You can see he's kind of stacked it right now, so if Huhi was ever going to engage, it was going to be off cooldown. He just presses the giant shield and everyone. That gives them a decent chance to start the game. They're on those 2-item power spikes that Afro has just talked about. But when they're not grouped up like this, NRG is thinking about getting some poke in.
Impact trying to dive in after FBI, but immediately gets intercepted by Huhi, just trying to protect the president here. Dawning Shadow over the top. Impact is low, but he goes all out, trying to find a fight here. Back on a contract. Palafox in the middle locked up, but he's not going to be killed here just yet. Dhokla and Huhi locked into the fight as Team Liquid keep marching forward. The Seraphine is empowering everyone. This war battery just keeping the health bars topped off.
It's looking okay.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
The NRG doesn't have really that much damage yet. So Senna's still on 1 item. Kind of feels bad.
I mean, I'd say the Seraphine Death Ball worked very well in that situation, considering they are 4,000 gold behind, as well as just having a Cloud Drake. So now, they actually didn't even have Leandries, I believe, on Yeon there. They were sitting on 1.5 for items on the Seraphine. So a little bit more damage here. NRG's got to be a little careful. Look at all the flashes they used that fight. Huhi lost flash, Palafox lost flash, Contractz flash ult as well, with the next Drake coming up shortly. It's going to be a big contest here, and I think another fight now that, you know, as you mentioned, Aframu, like, this is where the comp either works or it doesn't, and it is kind of close to working, even though I was a pretty big initial skeptic.
Yeah, the more I look at NRG's comp, there's no way for them to really get on the back line unless Palafox flanks, unless he flanks.
So we're saying there's no way for Team Liquid to do damage to NRG.
No,
but then we're also saying...
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah. So
It's a little tough.
Team fight.
It's a little tough.
speaking of Palafox, we have been seeing him not have the greatest impact in the past couple of team fights, whether it's arriving late or getting caught out in a spot where he has to flash out defensively. And when you think about this team and how they popped off and how they kind of went from a non-factor in a lot of people's minds to winning the championship last summer, a lot of it was from his performances. And even he said one of their recent games was his worst game ever. And that's one of those things that you got to be able to shake off. You've got to be able to get to the point where you're not feeling that way. As now the team fight breaks out. Huhi's here for the front. Contractz doing the same. Now CoreJJ ready to lock him down here with a Magnet Storm. Huhi's nearly dead already. Team Liquid can't quite finish him off, but they'll take Dhokla instead. A shutdown over to APA. But now the counterattack might come through. Impact's very low, but he ain't low enough. FBI and Palafox just don't have the damage to seal the deal. It's a 1-0 trade for TL, and the Drake is the prize.
All hail the Seraphine, apparently, because they all end onto APA. Yeon pressed his empowered W. It did nothing. Since they didn't have a super clean flank, they had to go straight through them with eye contact, and Team Liquid down 4,000 gold. Win that fight pretty easily to tie up the Drakes 2-2.
I think NRG made this mistake twice this game. They started the fight in the river, like 4 of them already, FBI, Huhi, Contractz, and Dhokla, but Palafox not even there when that fight happened. That happened in the 2-for-2 fight that happened earlier in the game, and it happened just there too. So they're ready to fight, but
Palafox over the wall.
Palafox is over the wall, not really ready to hit. He misses Charm here, but he has nothing else after he uses his Q right here.
Yeah, so he's kind of... Oh, and then he gets bashed away
by Poppy. So it's kind of just, they weren't really ready.
It's almost like
when they first walk in.
Yeah, you almost need Palafox, as you say, to be the one kind of landing a pick. And then they go in.
He has to be the guy to start this.
There's been a lot of charms not connecting in these fights. We just saw that one. The previous one in the river that you were talking about with the 2-for-2 Afro, he held it for a while, or it was on cooldown. I'm not quite sure at the time, but either way, the first charm he threw out in that fight also not connecting. I feel like the charm is just so important. They've got to be able to land that extra bit of lockdown. Palafox throws out a Q. He dashes in on top of APA. There's the point-blank charm. Dhokla's coming in to try to help him. Immediate use of the ulti, but now beautiful slam back at the Azir wall from Umti, and Team Liquid takes out the enemy mid laner. Now they're ready to reinforce their own lines with the Seraphine. Here comes the shielding and the healing, and there's no way for NRG to find anything else.
That was beautiful. The Azir wall into the Poppy slam.
Perfect. Now CoreJJ wants even more. Crash down into the Magnet Storm. Seraphine ulti over the top. Contractz has to immediately escape, and Huhi has no such way out. He'll try to Spider-Man his way to victory, but there ain't no heroes on NRG today. Team Liquid, they've been fighting from a multi-thousand gold deficit, and they've been knocking NRG's teeth out.
And they're going to go Baron off of this one. Palafox down for 10, Huhi down for 35. Palafox can TP back. I don't think the fighting is over yet. This Baron doesn't necessarily go down that fast, even with the Azir. Contractz, no flash, but wants to slowly move in, and this is going to be a contest.
All right, NRG, they know they got to try to stop this here. They've been slipping for the past multiple fights in a row. CoreJJ does not have an ulti. Contractz can't afford to lose a ton of health here. They just want to waste the time of Team Liquid. Contractz still just trying to get away from these guys. Lightning's going to slow Impact down there a little bit. Dhokla still looking for maybe the opportunity to find a flank here if Team Liquid overcommits, but they're not going to do that. They know that all they have to do is stay clumped up in a death ball, stay around the Seraphine. Huhi coming around from the side. Palafox tries to go in, but again, the charm goes wide. It's APA locked down, and Huhi's got the kill. Now Impact goes all out to try to bring Huhi back underneath the Sun Disc. Dhokla's ready to follow it up, and CoreJJ drops. Umti pops, and NRG just won't stop. They'll take the Sun Disc, they'll take 3 kills, and they'll take the express route over to Baron.
What an insane hook by Huhi there. He catches APA when they're not balled up around the Seraphine. They turn the bad situation into a good one, and they finally get their fight.
He's playing phenomenal this game. Letting both hooks early game, and then this one right here to secure the Nash. I mean, NRG's been able to get very massive leads once they're on the back line.
I am so sorry for everyone watching at home that cannot see the all chat happening in this game right now, where after the previous play in the bot lane with Palafox getting caught, APA types, you guys are so bad. And then after the previous thing, after the catch there, the response is FBI saying lol and Palafox saying well played, well played. The banter is popping off here
in the all
love
chat,
it.
and I love it for this Energy versus Team Liquid matchup. TL was looking real good there,
They were.
but then they really weren't.
They were about to make me eat my words earlier on about saying they're already 4,000 gold behind. How are they ever going to be able to kill Contractz and Huhi? They don't have any physical damage. Impact, we mentioned he's only won one game, then he's not on Udyr. 5-0-3 on the Ksante. They had the advantage, but then they started chirping. You know, both these teams, both these players just in there with the chirping, and that's actually one of the things that turns this game. So now, let's see. Energy again in what feels like a good position, but we could still be in for a really long game because you can't just say, let's get picks and then get picks. Like, you need to have the proper setup. You need to be able to find moments like that. Yeon and APA both have flashes up. There's no soul point, so this could just be a Baron where they're trying to get a bit of a gold lead.
And we are at that point that you talked about earlier, Jatt. Senna, over 120 stacks. This is where some of that mid lane, that extra control you were talking about to just sort of dominate the map, have that extra control, have that extra shove and priority. As you can see, Huhi and FBI pushing up with Contractz right behind him here in mid. They want to try to claim this tier 2, get rid of this thing, grab the extra control that will yield them. Boom, there it is. One more shot from Senna, and that thing is rubble. It's 5 turrets to 1 in the favor of Energy. Team Liquid has only managed to claim that top lane tier 1 after 31 minutes of play.
After you said at 2 items the comp either works or it doesn't. What about 3 items?
We'll see. But APA's caught out like that again. I don't know if the items matter, but
It's a little tough. when you're a 1 damage comp and the 1 damage guy gets Nautilus hooked, there are problems on the horizon. 11-9, kills still favoring Team Liquid, but it's a 7,000 gold lead nearly here for Energy, who are also now on soul point. Here in 5 minutes, we'll see if they can secure that soul. They've still got 30 seconds left of the Red Bull Baron buff, plus 2,000 gold on that overall so far. As FBI just again moving out, trying to control this vision, remove all Team Liquid wards from the map, make sure it's scary for these guys to step out. Because of the way the comp works, because of the need for them all to be balled up, it's harder for one single guy to go out, drop some wards, try to sweep some vision. This team needs to be together.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And again, coming off the 2-week break, we need to kind of reset our expectations for these teams because the standings say Energy is 4-5, TL's 5-4, but a lot can change in 2.5 weeks. We've already seen Energy's next 4 opponents. Let's look at TL's next 4 opponents because yes, they are in 3rd place right now, but they potentially have a very hard road the end of this week and the start of next one. So every win really will matter a lot. If they don't come back in this game, that'll move them to 5-5. Then they'd have 2 big games against Cloud9 and FlyQuest where they could potentially swing from 7-5 to 5-7. So it really ends fast is what I'm kind of trying to say, and they have a very tough upcoming schedule.
All right, Team Liquid. We've seen what success looks like for this squad. We'll see if they can replicate it. Again, I have eyes on Palafox so much this game just because we're still waiting to see one of those big performances in any of these fights from the Ahri. Seeing if he can land any of those clutch charms. He's got a lot of firepower if he can connect. The Death Cap, the Leandries.
he has almost 5,000 HP.
Yeah, Huhi's a bit of a problem, man. This Nautilus is an absolute brick wall. And Team Liquid just needs a sledgehammer to get rid of him.
6. Look at the lines.
Oh, yeah.
It is, yeah.
With the Kanik Rookern and the W shield put together, that's, let me go ahead and check here the numbers on it. The Titan's Wrath, the Nautilus shield, is currently only at level 3, so it's still going to grow some more. It is 530 HP right now.
And he's at 4,500 health, but then the Kanik shield and the W shield puts him over 6 lines. But they might kill him. Oh, yeah, really close.
Oh, boy. Let's see what we got.
Moving? Oh, there it is.
Huhi?
They broke through the shields.
They broke through the first shield. Here comes another shield.
They actually
Team
might kill
Liquid is throwing everybody in the kitchen sink here at the Nautilus. Dawning Shadow over the top. The Nautilus still ain't dead. Why are we overcommitting to the Nautilus? Team Liquid Contractz coming in on top of APA, but he ain't gonna find him here just yet. FBI flashing back away as APA goes golden. That's nothing but a trophy for Energy as APA drops and CoreJJ's trying to get the hell out of town. Huhi and the rest of Energy still going in. They thought they caught the knot. No way, not today. Energy turn it right back around and suplex him in the mid lane.
Huhi is a legend this game, man. They took everything to kill him, and then after they failed, he landed back-to-back hooks to close out the fight. APA CoreJJ down, teleporting back in on the Nautilus. There's the shields, they're back. taking another inhib.
Let's go. The tier 3 turret crumbles in mid lane. The inhibitor falling immediately after, but NRG decide discretion is the better part of Valor. They know that APA coming back here in 10 seconds means that they will not be able to push further into the Nexus turrets. Let's take another look at how this fight started as Team Liquid thought they had a Nautilus-shaped punching bag here.
This is so funny, man. They're doing damage here, his health's not even moving, so you're like, is this a good idea? And then it's, let's move it a little bit here, so we're like, yeah, let's call the boys. But I think you need the Avengers to take down Thanos, man. We're missing a couple more members, bro.
They got him down to 1,000 health, which it looks like he's low, but he's actually not low because he can still press W to go up to 1,700. APA just is a fly right next to him. That's incredible. I think he completed another item after that as well.
So what we learned is if there's one opponent on the enemy team with an effective 6k HP, you should not throw everything at that guy.
Just be a little cautious, you know?
Just be a little bit careful of how you're going to do it. Team Liquid grouped up as 5 again. This is how we need to see this comp played. Baron down to half HP as Contractz and Dhokla are 2-manning this. Control ward from Team Liquid was in the pit but got removed. NRG, they still leave Dhokla on the Baron alone, but the problem is Dhokla actually loses a lot of health to this thing. Team Liquid still stepping up. Huhi's still on the front line. Palafox, nice charm there onto Umti. That's what I'm talking about. Some of that control dawning shadow over the top as Baron is secured by Contractz and NRG. Now Impact still on the front line. Dhokla's at about 40%, so NRG's not going to try and force this fight too hard. They already got what they came for. They already got the Baron.
Yeah, they have Baron now. They don't want a full reset because the Drake is going to be spawning. Dhokla's able to go back, get his health, zoom back with the Baron buff. And now I think it's just eye contact in mid. Notice that one Senna Q cutting through APA core and Umti. Really strong at this stage in the game with that Senna, with 152 Senna souls.
Yeah.
See how they play this.
That is spicy, man. Senna also only needs one more item, and FBI's full build. So, pretty scary stuff here. Team Liquid, again, on the back foot, except now it's finally a 5-digit gold lead. 10,000 plus. The Drake is on the map, and TL cannot do anything to even approach, so Chemsol picked up here, too, for NRG.
Really nice job there by Palafox and NRG. Like this is one of the ways that they thrive, is in these like late game macro situations. So rather than just trying to 5v5 eye contact, even though they'd probably be stronger against the Seraphine, they just send the Ahri up top with the Baron buff. It forces Team Liquid to defend, and then they can freely get the soul without any contest. Just like a lot of teams would be able to do that, but NRG is able to do this very consistently whenever they have Baron in these late game situations. So they still, you can see, like if they take Impact out of this fight, it's way easier for them to actually chunk out whoever is standing in front with the Senna. Umti, they took 33% of his health with a couple autos there since Impact is the one that has to match Palafox.
Palafox just not really too worried about this. Can step away from that third Intofo strike pretty easily. Huhi, by the way, is up to just like 20 HP shy of 5k now, and the shield does about 650 on a 9-second cooldown. So the Nautilus is becoming more and more fearless as time marches forward. And as time goes forward, so does the NRG. Looking to apply pressure here to the second tier 3 turret of the game down in bottom lane. Team Liquid falling back to defend the Nexus turrets. That first one already below half HP, but removing the defense bottom means that it just gets shattered. Second inhibitor down. Top lane, Palafox has the opportunity now. Third inhibitor down. Team Liquid's backs are against the wall. Okay, I'm not even going to act like it matters if Huhi gets hit by anything. Now, CoreJJ here on the front line. Umti looking to knock somebody out of the fight. He gets Contractz. Huhi still the only one in any sort of reach, and they know better than to try to engage on him now as FBI continues trying to poke at these guys. Speaking of poke, those cannon minions nearly killing off Nexus turret number 1. FBI still finding a couple of long-range shots as the first Nexus turret dies. Team Liquid trying to rally and defend. Contractz ulti is ready to go. If they want to try to dive these turrets, they can do it. Volibear has the off switch, and now Huhi's ready to go in. CoreJJ already at half HP, trying to find an angle here. Palafox getting knocked down by the Magnet. Storm is against a flash away, but Umti's going to grab the kill. NRG have lost their mid laner, but they return with a kill into core. FBI gets hunted down by Impact in the very back line as Contractz, Huhi, and Dhokla are struggling to find the damage to do anything. Impact looking to solo down Big Dokes, but Huhi wants to make his way into the fight. Contractz still trying to scrap, but he ain't going to do it here in a 1v3. Team Liquid find their angle and critically find both the carries.
They're never giving up this game. When they can get onto Palafox, good things still happen. The bad thing is this happened after all 3 of their inhibitors were down and they'd already lost a Nexus turret. But like, let's watch this engage one more time as they're able to kill. I saw the pick onto Palafox. I need to see how they end up getting on FBI. So Nautilus ult and Senna ult burned early. Then CoreJJ engages onto Palafox. He goes down. And then Impact just zooms his way into the back line. No way of peeling him. So once those two are down, then TL's able to take the fight.
I always get a little confused when you're so far ahead. You got Baron running into their base. Palafox was top the whole time before this.
Yeah.
Why did he decide to group up here?
Why ever group up when
and
you're just holding
give
this 5
them
wide?
the opportunity to defend the base? When he was top, everything just fell over. So.
Yeah, that was definitely what looked to be a macro masterclass for about 4 minutes. They take the Baron buff in the soul, clear every inhibitor, make it seem like TL has absolutely no options. Then as soon as they group up, TL finally engage.
All right, Nautilus update. He is level 18. He is full build. He has 5,623 HP. His W is on an 8-second cooldown and shields for 765.
Okay, so that's going to put him at 63.
His Kanik Rookern is a shield for 1,012 against magic damage.
7,300.
And Fimbulwinter, every time it procs, will shield him for 272 damage, 490 if more than one enemy is present. It has already shielded for 4,561 in this game.
So the max health plus shields he'll have is about 7,600?
Yes.
If a Senna ult comes through, I think we could get to 8K.
Well, but also remember, his armor and magic resist are both at about 2/3 reduction, so you have to triple his HP for his EHP, so it's about 20,000 EHP on Nautilus right now.
I think he needs an elixir.
He's getting juggled around, but he just does not care. 20,000 effective HP.
We got Thanos in the game, guys.
You just can't kill the guy.
They made him go back to base. They got him to like 4,500.
Oh man, he's hurt.
Scary.
He's got a black eye from that one.
It's funny because you actually see super tanks like this sometimes, but then the other team has like a vein and you actually die in like 4 seconds. I think this is just this much more ridiculous because it's just Azir, Seraphine, and like 3 tanks that it just becomes so comical.
That was some fantastic stuff, man. Great champion. Just watch it, looking at that goofy health bar.
Oh,
like
and he's got the anathemas, so he puts that on his ear and he's doing less damage to him.
When Nautilus's health bar is down around the R of energy, he has as much HP as Senna at maximum. That's that's the kind of health that we're dealing with here, to put it in a visual representation.
And the Chem Soul means he takes more reduced damage when he's low.
Correct. Yes. When he's below half.
This is like the perfect game.
He's so tanky, man. Baron at about 8,000 HP. All right, so Baron is down to about Nautilus health now. As Contractz continues keeping the aggro here. Impact stepping forward onto the front line, but he gets locked down. A lot of damage coming out on him. Takes him down to about 1,000. Dhokla here in the front. As the Dawning Shadow fires off down to the mid lane. Palafox versus APA in a 1v1 is up. The Impact and Yeon trying to turn the attention back into Dhokla. He's trying to end their world, and he's gonna do it. FBI and the rest of NRG slaughter TL in the 4v4. APA and Palafox break even, but a triple kill for the Senna. A teleport coming out for the Nautilus. APA wants to at least get Palafox, but they ain't gonna give him that. It's a clean ace for NRG, and they're gonna walk it in for the win.
It took him a little bit of extra time after that base, but I think they were waiting for Huhi to get more items by the end of this one. NRG pop off at the start of the final 2 weeks of the LCS, equaling Team Liquid 5-5.
Wow.
Don't fist bump. It's a cage match.
It's a cage matchup, and they were stuck inside there with a Nautilus that took up the whole damn cage. Huhi popping off. FBI ending with a 6-2-11 scoreline. 17 out of 17 kill participation for the Senna. Contractz' Volibear at 16. The Aatrox for Dhokla at 14. Huhi's Nautilus at 12. And then Palafox's Ahri at 10. FBI the only one with 100% KP there. NRG, it got a little dicey in the mid lane. It was a little bit concerning there when they were going up against the Deathball Seraphine, but really it was that play in mid. It was the Nautilus hook that grabbed